We continue our focus on Pit Latrines backlog in the country's schools. The province of Kwazulu-Natal has the second highest number of schools that rely entirely on pit latrines in the country. Well, for more on this, I'm joined by Kwazulu-Natal's Education MEC, Kwazi Mshengu. Thank you very much, MEC, for joining us. Now, the latest stats that we have at our disposal indicate that KZN has the second highest number of schools that rely on pit toilets. That's over 1,000. What is the situation with that, and have there been any efforts to bring that number down?
Indeed, there's been efforts to bring the number down. Of 6,148 schools we have in the province, we identified 1,377 that had pit latrines. And of that number, 53 have since been closed down because they've become non-viable. And from the remaining number of that, 600 pit latrines have been eradicated. 412 are currently on construction, and the remainder is really on tender and design stage. So we are quite satisfied with the progress that we make in terms of eradication of pit latrines in the province.
Yeah, it's great that there is some progress being made in that regard, but in the interim, what sort of impact does having pit latrines have on children's education and their ability to focus and concentrate?
I think the first thing is that pit latrines are dehumanizing. Whether you're a student or a learner or any human being, all human beings deserve proper sanitation structures. So that's the first point there, that they are dehumanizing. And on that only point, they don't belong to the schooling environment. But the second issue that, or the point that we are raising is that obviously when you attend to a school that has pit latrines, it demoralizes you. It puts you at risk as a learner, but also educators. So the impact of the social environment that it has at a classroom level is quite negative. You would want a situation where the school is really a proper and fit environment for teaching and learning. You want a situation where learners go to school and educators go to school solely to focus on teaching and learning and don't worry about the external environment. So that is why we are searching ahead with our target that by the end of next year, which is 2022, we should have eradicated all the pit latrines in our schools. But obviously that will be dependent on the funding that we continue to get from Treasury as well as the National Head Office.
We know that the COVID situation has been a nightmare for the education system, but it must be doubly worse for schools that do have to endure pit latrines as well.
Indeed, it has made things worse. But what we have done as a department in those schools, where the structure is still sound, the structure of the pit latrines, we assist our schools through the program of dislodging. So we assist in cleaning up those pit latrines. But where the structure is now posing a risk to learners as well as educators, we have been able to provide such schools with what is called mobile chemical toilets, which are obviously also cleaned now and then to ensure that they continue with teaching and learning, at least in a safe environment. COVID-19 made things worse for our schools. There are things that could sort of be tolerated in the past, even though they were not proper. But you could not shy away from them under the COVID-19 conditions, because it was really a matter of life and death. And as a department, we're able then to provide those schools that are affected with what we call chemical toilets.
Now, ensuring clean water and sanitation is one of the UN Sustainable Development Goals. How do you see yourselves as a province meeting these very important goals of clean sanitation?
The determination is there, the will is there, but obviously everything is dependent on the financial viability of the department. Over the past days, you would have heard us complaining about the impact, the severe impact of the budget cuts. In our province, we are 6.3 billion less, which means that other projects, including these ones of sanitation, will be affected. We continue to provide schools with water, working with the municipalities, where there are schools that are not connected to municipal pipe water. We work with municipality through the program of water tankers, so that those schools have water almost on a daily basis. But we have also undertaken a program of building boreholes in schools where they are not connected to municipal pipes, because we have realized that the issue of or the program of water tankers is quite expensive and not sustainable. So where we are able to find water underground, we then build a borehole for a school, and that's a sort of a sustainable project that we are undertaking as a department. So the will is there to meet the goals, but obviously we are also not oblivious of the fact that whatever we desire is highly dependent on the availability of funds.
Indeed. MEC, thank you very much for your time and your insights there. That was KwaZulu-Natal's MEC for Education, Kwazi Mshengu, speaking to us on the pit latrine situation at the province's schools and plans to eradicate them.